Without a single doubt in my mind, the most analyzed and dissected and deconstructed scene from Star Wars The Force Awakens that the whole community has been abuzz over was the scene with Rey's Force flashback where she touched Luke and Anakin's lightsaber and then experienced a very bizarre phenomenon where she witnessed a number of strange and bizarre visions of the past, Jedi who have been long gone, Kylo Ren, and many other things that Star Wars fans have been deconstructing since then and trying to pick up clues about what the hell happened in between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. Well, on this video, I'm going to address a brand new rumor that just came out about the possibility of this scene continuing and more secrets revealed in Star Wars Episode VIII. MakingStarWars.com revealed in an article the continuation of this scene and the possibility of how it may play out in the upcoming Star Wars Episode VIII. And of course, I will leave a link down below in the description for you to check out the article on MakingStarWars.com. From what we understand, details are beginning to come out about the rumor or the possibility of the fragmented scene of Rey touching the lightsaber being actually not only expounded upon, but complete. It appears that from what the article is stating, that there's actually more sequences within this flashback or this Force flashback that are going to be expounded upon in Episode VIII, almost as if there are different fragments that were given to us in that film that are going to be played out further. It's sort of like a cliffhanger in a Christopher Nolan film or any great movie that has a shocking cliffhanger. They give you a little bit of something, but it's only a piece of a scene. And from what we understand, the footage is supposed to surround the events that happened prior to and after the sequence where Skywalker puts his hand on R2-D2, which is supposed to be the last time that Luke saw R2, right next to what appears to be some sort of open flame. Now, if you look back and really dissect the scene from Star Wars The Force Awakens, it appears like we're seeing the Knights of Ren slaughtering Jedi Order Padawans from the new Jedi Order that Luke was training, and it appears like Rey was either there or may have actually been one of the Padawans, but some people who have dissected the scene have thought that perhaps Kylo Ren was actually saving Rey by stabbing one of these mysterious Padawans, and some people believe that Rey's connection to Kylo Ren may actually be a sinister one. But the reason why I want to cover this and really delve into this is because to me, that scene really gave us a clue, many clues about what's going to happen in the story, but they didn't give us so much so that's that easy to figure out. Case in point, one of the big theories that I had coming out of The Force Awakens after watching it for the third time was that Luke Skywalker was the one who put Rey on Jakku and at some point wiped her memory, and her touching the lightsaber essentially reignited her brain, sort of like what happened with R2 at the end of the film. Same thing except for a person, and kind of brought back these fragments into her brain. Now, of course, this phenomenon is actually kind of grounded in reality. Now, obviously, in the Star Wars world, if Luke or Kylo Ren or somebody wiped Rey's memory and put her on Jakku, you can't really do that in real life, to my knowledge. But one thing that definitely deserves to be talked about is the theory or the science behind something called compartmentalization. Now, compartmentalization, to make it as simple as possible, is a psychological defense mechanism that your brain creates when you experience something that is extremely traumatic. Like, for example, if you were to get robbed or get into a car accident, heaven forbid, your brain will sometimes take that event and psychologically, to avoid mental discomfort, compartmentalize it. In other words, stick it in a compartment that will prevent easy access, and therefore you can go on living your day without having any kind of real pain. That's the easiest way to explain it. Your brain isolates the incident, the trauma behind the incident, so that you can function as a person in your day-to-day. Pretty much it's your brain protecting you from feeling that pain all over again. But there are, of course, other scientific studies that state that compartmentalization is a defense mechanism, but later in life, these painful experiences may manifest in other ways, which is why victims of abuse, whether it be sexual or even physical abuse, end up having a lot of weird issues later in life. It's kind of an unfortunate thing, but that's how our brain works. Therefore, how does this apply to Star Wars? Well, what could be more traumatic than seeing a very young Rey witnessing several younglings, several of Luke Skywalker's students or Padawans, whatever you want to call them, being slaughtered by the Knights of Ren? However, part of me is a bit skeptical about this because I don't think it's that simple. I think there's more to this story than actually meets the eye, and I think that people like Kathleen Kennedy, J.J. Abrams, and Rian Johnson are purposely trying to shift us in one direction and then are going to throw a curveball at us that's going to shock everybody when Episode 8 hits theaters, which is going to be exciting as hell if you ask me. MakingStarWars.com then continued to cover the props that were used for the dead Jedi in the flashback sequence and talks about how these lightsabers were constructed for that scene and they may appear again in Episode 8, which would actually lead credence to the other rumor that I had heard a few months ago, which is that Luke's Jedi are actually not dead and that the flashback that she had was misinterpreted purposely, which is what I was talking about earlier, to purposely lead us in the wrong direction and then give us the big bait and switch, the big swerve as to what's really going on. But one of the big theories is that Luke's Padawans are actually still alive somewhere, and that what we saw in that flashback sequence was in fact only a very small piece of the puzzle, and that something much bigger was going on. That flashback sequence to me has always been the most interesting thing of Force Awakens. I've watched it back many times, and now according to this article, it looks like we're going to get an extended version. We're going to get maybe the entire story of what actually happened and what really led to Luke running away. What would lead Luke Skywalker, this legendary warrior, to abandon everything to go find the Jedi Temple? Why? Why would he do that in the middle of what could end up being a new gigantic war? That's the big mystery. I, for one, am very excited to see what's going to happen and very hyped to see where this Star Wars story is going to go. Let me know your thoughts down below. I really love the way they're doing this, that they're not giving us everything and that we have to piece it together. I think that's what makes a great story. I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about this revelation? Of course, the article will be available down below. And remember to subscribe for more Star Wars content. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting the channel. May the Force be with all of you.